Dear Rayven, if you're reading this, you've graduated high school and moved on to bigger and better things. The journey you had in high school was one that should never be neglected. So how did you get here? It starts with freshman year, an expedition filled with new opportunities and a fresh start. You were blessed enough to be surrounded with a lot of people with a variety of personalities. You played volleyball and got appointed captain for the first time, and shortly after that, you'd play for Panther Volleyball Club, where you would get the chance to lead another team. These girls were excited to be on the court, friendly with each other, and never complained. You found out the difference between true friendships and superficial intentions. You learned to be more careful about who you share your heart with. You realized the heartbreak and tough conversations were just as important to your growth as the accomplishments and triumphs. In your 4 years at Valor, sophomore year was the best by far. This was the year where the quality of relationships superseded the quantity of your inner circle. It was a blessing in disguise to shrink your squad. It was comforting to know the friends you made were there for you and shared the same values like service. Haiti was a life-changing experience. You poured your heart into every one of those kids. You signed with the ones who couldn't hear, and you put on a very special night for the kids who had special needs. Those people were seen as broken, but you showed them what true compassion looks like. It was a trip that showed you who God was, and that He doesn't leave us alone when we are weak. While the mission team was a saving grace for the kids in the orphanage, they saved you too. So much so that you got baptized on the beach on your last day in Haiti. Everyone warned you that junior year would be the hardest, and they were right. But your third year at Valor still brought you so much to be grateful for. Junior year was crucial. College fairs and ACTs were all building up. This was the year that you didn't feel seen by your coaches and your team. You saw that others were falling out of love for the game, and you started wondering if you were supposed to follow. But through all of these challenges, you had to dig deep to find a way to be a college athlete. You pushed college coaches to come and watch you play. You played your heart out for every point and never failed to lead by example, regardless of a win or a loss. This was the first time you worked for a goal with an unpromised outcome, but your resilience would pay off in your final year at Valor. Senior year was full of ambition. It was time to focus on the future. It was time to make a decision on where you would land once you left the cozy cocoon that had become Valor Christian. You made decisions that even surprised yourself. By choosing not to play varsity for the Valor volleyball team, you found a different way to lead the program, by managing the sophomores. It was not just about taking stats, helping run practice, and cheering them on. It was also a way to fulfill a promise that you would never be a senior that scared the underclassmen. You would help make their season as memorable as your sophomore year. You also made the unexpected decision to move to Coalition Volleyball Club's 18s team, and it was by far one of the best decisions you made your senior year. Those girls really became your family and pushed you hard but never let you slip under the pressure. Your hard work paid off because just after a few short months, you had an offer to play at the school you had loved from your first visit. Not long after, you stood on a stage in front of friends and family and signed a commitment to play volleyball and study at Augustana College. You were proud of everything you'd accomplished in that moment. Your memories from high school weren't just moments in time. They were experiences that shaped your character, and you had a few favorites. Sophomore year, when you took Mackenzie to her prom and made sure she had the best time. You dragged Stuart along with you so he wouldn't be alone. He was a trooper and made sure his own buddy had the greatest night. You and Stu sat in the hallway and he made goofy faces at her, hoping she'd find more energy to keep dancing, but she insisted on falling asleep in your lap while you both waited for her dad. The 2 tournaments you spent with your coalition team in Nashville and Las Vegas. Nashville was where the Augustana coach saw you play in person for the first time. It was one of the first times in a long time where you felt like your team had really embraced who you were as a player and a teammate. Las Vegas was filled with so many victories, fake tattoos, mile-long walks down the strip, and eating at buffets until we couldn't walk straight. Even though quarantine routines have kept you apart from them for weeks, your love for them will never die out. Valor taught you humility, that you will not always be outwardly appreciated for the things that you do. They taught you selflessness. Valor showed you that it's okay to ask for help. And lastly, Valor opened up a whole new world of creativity for you. Mr. McGeehee and Hitch showed you that creativity comes from the emotion in music. And your service showed you that being creative is how you can lead better. Being a problem solver and not letting anything get in the way of the goal ahead can only be accomplished through creative thought. You ended senior year hopeful for new opportunities, flourishing relationships, and motivation to move forward. In life's journey, I hope that you find a stronger, truer identity in Christ. Teresa Kozan and the rest of the Haiti leaders showed you what it's like to actively live for Christ. They inspired you to step out of the bubble and live and serve for Him. Looking back on everything you accomplished in your 4 years at Valor, and knowing it was a marathon, not a sprint, there has always been one person running right along with you, and that person was, and hopefully still is, Aria. Aria never left your side even when your introverted personality was misunderstood by others. Her art taught you that all of your projects and plans need to have a purpose behind them, or else they are just materials on a canvas, and that you should never settle for anything less than the vision in your head. Your next steps are to Augustana College in Rock Island, Illinois, only a few hours in the car away from grandparents, aunts, and uncles and cousins, and only a short plane ride from home. You're going to continue to play volleyball with passion and pride, but also study kinesiology and communication sciences and disorders. My personal hopes and aspirations for you now are that you continue to lead by example, grow out of your comfort zone, let your guard down, and be vulnerable with others. I hope you push yourself in pursuing your career in kinesiology to work with athletic medicine, but also indulge in your love for kids with special needs. I can't say where you'll exactly be when you see this again, but all I know is that high school has been an adventure that gave you so many memories and lessons to look back on. After so many countless days of lectures, tests, lunch dates, and dances, it's over, but it's the beginning of bigger and brighter things. Sincerely, Rayven, class of 2020.